Hey everyone, so I'm back again with another video, and this time around I have some more toy pickups. I got a whole bunch of toys at multiple thrift stores, and actually they were all at different Value Village locations. I also visited a new Value Village that I didn't even know existed, and I managed to find something a little bit interesting there, and I'll just get to that later. First up, I actually got these two toys close to a month and a half ago. So it's been a while, but I've been really busy with school, so I haven't been buying as much stuff. But when I saw these two, I knew that I absolutely had to get them. They were in one bag together, and I was okay with the second toy that came in the bag just because at least it was official. So I'll start out with that. It's a Power Rangers Blue Ranger with some weird robotic arm that sort of shoots out. And this one here is from Power Rangers SPD. I believe, if I remember correctly, that SPD was the one where they had a boss that was like a dog person, like he had a dog head, something like that. But I honestly don't remember. It's from about 2004, and all I know is that it was at the point when they no longer used any of the clips from like the Japanese show, and it was all like American made. But yeah, that's from Power Rangers SPD, just the Blue Ranger there. But the reason why I got this bag was because it came with this gigantic Mega Man toy. This one here is Mega Man EXE, I believe, the one from NT Warriors. And I actually watched that show when I was a kid, and I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to get all like the I forget what the toy was called. I think it was called like the PET or like the PET. It was like this wrist watch thing, and there was all these chips and stuff, and they did different like attacks and battle scenarios and stuff like that. But it was too expensive, and I was more into Digimon at the time, and I spent my money, well, my parents' money on Digivices at the time. But yeah, I'm really happy to find something like this, but this is mostly, well, it's a display piece really. It'll just be going up on the shelf. And it's a little scuffed up, not that you can really tell, but it's a little scuffed up around the helmet here. But overall, he's in pretty good condition. I'm just going to put him over there for now. Um, Next up, I'll show you guys what I got at this new Value Village that I went to. I found out actually that pretty much down the street from me, there's a Value Village. When I say down the street, I mean pretty much all the way down the street and like a block over. There is a pretty small Value Village that I actually found a lot of interesting things there, but nothing that I really wanted to purchase. There were a whole bunch of Sega Genesis games there, but they were all sports games. I did manage to find two other Sega games there, but that's for another video. And I found a couple other things as well, but I ended up just buying this in terms of the toys. They had a really scuffed up Samurai Jack toy and a really scuffed up Cyberman from Doctor Who. But again, they were really scuffed up, and they were in two separate bags, and they were $4.99 each, so I didn't bother to get them. But I did grab this one board game, and I made sure to see that all the pieces were there, everything was included, and for $2.99 I thought it was a good enough deal. It's called Mystery of the Abbey, and I honestly just, I know nothing about this, but it seemed to be like a very high quality game, and I thought I'd give it a chance. Basically, it looks like you have the board, you're going around it, and you're trying to figure out who killed someone. Basically, his name is Brother Adelmo. Um, in this monastery, and yeah, you have to figure out which one of the other people at the monastery killed him. And I kind of like those games where you have to try to figure out who did it, or who's the person that's gonna do something, or like who's the bad guy or who's the good guy. I like playing those kinds of games, so I thought, why not give this a shot? Again, that's Mystery of the Abbey. Next up, I went to a value village that I rarely go to just because it's pretty far out of the way. At least for me, I have to take the subway and then a bus, and it's a pretty long bus trip as well to get out there. But I went there because I had a little bit of extra time, and I thought, why not? And I'm really happy that I ended up going there because I found something that I've been looking for a very long time to find. But I'm going to start out with this other item first. The reason why I got this really is because I really like items like this, and it's also a Tiger Electronics thing, so I kind of felt extra obligated to get it just because it fulfilled so many requirements of like stuff that I like to collect. It is the Tiger Talkback data pad, and it's like this little handheld sort of organizational thing. I've had a couple of these over the years, not specifically this one, but I've had ones that do things like keep appointments, alarm clocks, calculators, memos, stuff like that. And I don't know, they're just kind of interesting to me. And this one here also did voice recordings, which is pretty interesting for something like this of the time from like 1996. But it's extremely dirty, and I need to clean that up. And there's no battery corrosion in any of the battery compartments, which there are several of. I think altogether this takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different batteries. Well, 6 individual batteries and 3 different sizes of batteries, which is kind of excessive, but they all play different roles in the function of this. And that one there was $3.99. Just sorry about that, $3.99. But the thing that I was the most excited to find, and this actually came with another toy inside, but it was just a little card holder toy from Burger King, so I just threw that out. But I'm very happy to have found this, and in the condition that it's in as well, it's pretty awesome. It is, if I remember correctly, this is the original model of it, but it's been so many years since then that I honestly cannot remember. But it's the, in my opinion, I suppose, I don't want to say definitely because I honestly can't remember right now, and I should have looked this up beforehand, but it's the original Pokédex released by Tiger Electronics in like 1998, I believe it was. And it is in really good condition. It even has the sticker inside that usually when you see them online, it's completely ripped out or worn out or whatever. There's like very few light scratches on the screen, and I actually think it might just be a little smudgy. And overall, it's not that dirty, and the only sort of downside to it that I see is that it has a little black smudge there, but I should be able to just clean that off. But luckily enough, though, it does have the label on the front there all across it, and it's still in really good condition. Like, usually that will have been worn off by kids, like, repeated use over the years. I see that the video is almost to 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to move it along. I have just 2 more items to show you guys here. I went to the Value Village that I usually go to most recently, and I was looking around, and I was really disappointed to see that there were a couple of DS games that had been put out on the shelf, and I knew that once I saw them, most likely they had been stolen already, which really sucks because at this Value Village they no longer have a showcase or like a display case where they put more expensive items or whatever they feel like putting in there. And they would usually keep DS games there, but the games got stolen, and I went off into a rant to a couple of people that usually shop there. These older people that always just ask for updates, see if I found anything good, and let me know if they found anything that I might be interested in. And this one guy told me that he found a Bandai toy in the back, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, what is it? He says, oh, it's like a barcode something, and automatically what popped into my mind was that it was a barcode battler, this handheld that connected to the Famicom, that's the Japanese NES, and basically you would scan cards into it, and you would battle against each other. And there were different cards that were branded after different things, like Gundam. Um, Actually, that's all I can think of right now. But there was a Famicom game that came with a set of cards with different characters in it as well. But then also later on, there was this here released. It's more of a standalone item. Not to say that the previous one wasn't standalone. You could still play it without needing to connect it to the Famicom, but it had added capability by connecting it to the Famicom. This here, though, is the Super Barcode Wars multi-scanning system. And from what I could tell online, this here, with this coloring and pretty much this exact model, came packaged with some Dragon Ball Z cards. And I thought, oh, great, I'm not going to be able to find any of those, and I'm going to be completely screwed. And I really wouldn't be able to use this. And then I remembered that a couple of weeks ago, at a Value Village that I don't usually go to, I found pages and pages of some Dragon Ball Z cards. And I thought, you know what? Let me just double check these cards. And there were a pretty decent stack of cards altogether. I ended up paying $1.99 for these, though, so it wasn't anything crazy expensive. But I got a bunch of these cards. They're mainly Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z cards, but I am just going to mention these quickly. There were a couple of Street Fighter 2 Turbo cards in there as well. Pretty hard to make them up, but there's that weird sort of prism hologram to them. There was those, and then there were all these Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z cards, and the very back of them, the last few pages of cards, were actually cards that were compatible with this system here. And I was extremely surprised that these random cards that I found several weeks ago would be compatible with something that I would find, like, I actually got this 2 days ago. So I was really happy to have both cards that went with this as well as like each of these individually, really. But yeah, basically you just scan the cards into them. I don't know exactly how it works and all, but it just says in, and there's an arrow, and you just scan them like that, and then it just goes ahead, inputs the stats, and then you press the buttons in some kind of combination that I still don't quite understand. I'm going to have to print up a manual to try to figure this out. But there are various game modes, and it's basically like a versus system, so you play against someone else holding the system this way, like that, with one person at one end and another person at the other end, and you battle against each other on this a pretty tiny screen for something this large. Anyways, the video's at 15 minutes now, pretty long. If you lasted this long, thank you very much for paying attention. And hopefully you enjoyed the stuff that I showed you guys. As always, leave comments in the comment section below. Anything you'd like to say, comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, anything at all, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, website. They're all linked in the description below. And that's it. See ya.